Who really pulls the strings behind the scenes of our cities? Who are the puppet masters, the shadowy figures orchestrating crime from the shadows? Welcome to the underworld, where power and fear rule over law and order. In the early 1900s, crime in the United States was a local affair, dominated by small-time gangs and petty thieves. But as the nation grew, so did its underworld. The Roaring Twenties saw the rise of organized crime, fueled by the illegal liquor trade during Prohibition. Leading the charge were notorious figures like Al Capone and Lucky Luciano, men who transformed street gangs into criminal empires. Capone, dubbed Scarface by the press, ruled Chicago with an iron fist. He brought in millions through bootlegging, gambling, and prostitution. But his reign of terror was not to last. In 1931, the law finally caught up with Capone and he was sentenced to 11 years in prison for tax evasion. Meanwhile, in New York, Lucky Luciano was reshaping the face of organized crime. Luciano established the Commission, a national crime syndicate that brought together the country's most powerful mob bosses. This model of organized crime became the blueprint for future generations of gangsters. But the underworld does not belong to America alone. Across the globe, in Italy, the mafia has its roots in the 19th century. Sicilian clans, or families, have been involved in various forms of criminal activity for centuries. The mafia's influence has been so pervasive that it has infiltrated every level of Italian society, from the local butcher shop to the corridors of power. In Japan, the Yakuza traces its origins back to the 17th century. Known for their elaborate tattoos and strict code of honor, the Yakuza have been involved in everything from gambling and prostitution to corporate crime. As we move into the 21st century, organized crime continues to evolve. Today, cybercrime and international drug trafficking are the new frontiers for criminal enterprises. From the cartels of Mexico to the hackers of Eastern Europe, the underworld is more global and interconnected than ever before. In conclusion, the world of organized crime is a complex and ever-changing landscape. From the street gangs of the early 1900s to the cybercriminals of today, the underworld has always found a way to adapt and thrive. It is a world ruled by power and fear, a world that exists in the shadows of our own. Behind every crime, there's a story. Behind every story, there's a person. And behind every person, there's a choice. Choices that lead down dark paths into the heart of the underworld. The world of organized crime is a dark mirror to our own, reflecting our desires, our fears, and our choices. It is a world that, for better or worse, is an integral part of our society. So who really pulls the strings? Who are the puppet masters? The truth is, they are not just figures in the shadows. They are reflections of us, of our choices, and of our society. They are the underworld,